Well, this evening I am excited to have this gentleman with us. He is a veteran entertainment publicist who brings more to the global community than just entertainment. We're going to talk about that tonight. He brings to the table 50 years of being in the business. He's a humanitarian. He's a speaker. He's a mentor. He's a former fashion designer and filmmaker. And he joins us this evening for an episode of the Paula G Show. Ladies and gentlemen, he is Angelo Ellerbee. How are you this evening, sir? And welcome to the platform.
I am so blessed for such a wonderful introduction. I am so blessed, and so thank you for it. And thank you for allowing me to come on to the show and be a guest. So thank you very much, Paula. And Paula, before we begin, I know Clark Garrison very, very well.
Oh, do you?
I know him very well. He gave me an offer to come and to do a radio show and the whole other. He's a phenomenal person. I had absolutely no knowledge that he was ill, but I'm going to go to your page or his page, his wife's page, and I'm going to make a contribution. If I don't do it tonight, I'll do it the first thing in the morning.
Oh, thank you so much.
I'm really here for support.
Yes.
God bless him. He's a wonderful, 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 caring, giving individual. It's people like Clark that make people like me and you.
Exactly.
It's called opportunity. It's called opportunity.
You know,
yeah.
It is. It is because, you know, as I mentioned, he gave me my first opera. I am on radio. I am on television. I am in media because of Clark Garrison. You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. So thank you so much. But you know what?
Let me tell you something. The God that I serve is such an amazing God.
Come on now.
And when you put things into God's hands, leave it there, you can walk away and know that you're in good care. I don't care about a doctor. I know that my doctor is Dr. God. And when I call on him and I tell him of my pain and my misery, he has always solved my problem, my pain, and my misery. I give nothing but thanks to the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost for saving my life and so many other lives, particularly when you're in a hospital and you can't do for yourself. I pray for him and his wife, and I would include him in my prayer tomorrow morning because prayer, I don't care what nobody say, prayer answers all my problems, all my worries, all my miseries. It goes away when I put it in my God's hands.
And isn't it amazing when you lift a prayer and the prayer that you lift is only heard by God? You might not have uttered it to anyone else, and it is only heard by God. And when you see the manifestation of the answer to that prayer, ooh.
Listen, we could stop this interview and just go to church. Because he is so magnificent. He's so glorious. I pray. I light a candle in my house every morning, and I pray for 45 minutes. I pray for the drug addicts, the alcoholics. I pray for everything that God created. When I pray and I finish I can go and do it. I ask God to take my hands, my mouth, just walk with me today. Walk with me, talk with me, relieve me, and show me the way. I'm in your hands. And when you're in God's hands, you can't go wrong.
You can't.
He gives you experience of growth.
Yes.
Those challenges are no more than an experience of growth for you to grow by. It's called experience. And you got to listen to him. You got to listen to him. You got to feel him and know him to know that he's working for you. I never will doubt him.
That is powerful. That is powerful. And you know, I want to stay with that because what you just said was powerful. Can you share with us how God had? Because you are a man of God, and you are allowing him, and you have allowed him to use you over the years to speak to his people on different platforms. When I say speak, I don't necessarily mean audibly, but in a holistic sense. So from the global community side, how is God using you?
Let me tell you, I am no one. I'm nothing. I'm everything with him, and I'm nothing without him. I started my business with no money. I started working at the corner of my mother's basement in Newark, New Jersey, taking her old dining room table and putting it in the basement, and that's where Double Exposure was born. I had no money. I called the phone company and asked them to get a teenage line, so you know how long ago that was. I had a teenage line and a big dining room table, and that was my desk. And I went to work. My mother told me, she said, put it in his hands and go to work. She said, don't put it in his hands and don't work. She said, you got to make your steps too. Because when you make a step, he'll make a step. I said, okay, Mama, and that's just what I did. God is so amazing. When people go to experience God and get this experience of God, you'll never go back. I pray each and every single day for the drug addicts, for the alcoholic. I pray for everyone that's dependent on some kind of substance away from God, that they would come into a light, that God would enable them to see the light, come out of the dark and get into the light. I pray that. I pray for the people that are sitting in the hospitals. That's worried about if it's life or death. And I tell everyone, you cannot just believe in that doctor, but you got to call on that saint. You got to call on that God to allow you to leave your worries and your miseries in his hands. I am celebrating 50 years. I'm only celebrated because he allowed me those 50 years to do what I do.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I've never advertised anything about no double exposure, nothing that I did. This is all from God's blessings. My clients have come and they have gone and they come back. That's because what I chose to do it 100%, not 50%. Yeah. You give it your all. And I'm not telling you that I was not met with trials and tribulations. You know, It's just like Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. He felt, I didn't know how I was going to get back up. But with prayer and understanding that he had my back, he allowed me to fall. He allowed me to look at why I fell. And then he gave me the ability to get up and start all over again. He's amazing. He's amazing. When you think in your mind that you're doing this, you're foolish. You're not doing it.
I love what you just said. You said he allowed you, because I wanted to sit there for a minute. He allowed you to fall. He showed you why, what went wrong, basically.
Yes.
And then how to get up. And that's faith, because as you're sharing, what I'm hearing is, like you said, you started with no money, in the basement with a dining room table and prayer. And as you got up every day, God just either opened the door. He might have closed the door.
He closed a couple doors for me. Yeah, because I was stubborn. And I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna do it Angelo's way. He said, "Okay, go ahead and do it Angelo's way, because I'm gonna show you. I can show you better than I can tell you, Angelo.
Because you're not listening anyway.
Because you ain't listening now. And when you come back off of that floor and you get up and stand on your 2 feet, then you'll understand me. I got it. He would put people in front of me, so-called friends. You know, I spell. If you take the word friend and you split it in the middle, what do you get? A end of a friend. I have a friend in Jesus. I got it. Yeah. All of these celebrities and people that I've traveled the world 2 and 3 times, met kings and queens. He said, I allowed you to do that. Don't you ever forget Don't you ever forget how you got there and how you're going to get to the next level of your career. Yeah. I got it. And I try to preach every time I get the opportunity to tell young people, if it's in a college, if it's in a high school, if it's in a grammar school, your beginning starts with the Lord. Then you have to fall romantically in love with yourself. You have to teach people how to love you and how to treat you. I got the lesson. I understand how, like I tell people, I am romantically in love with Angelo Ellerbee. And they say, oh, maybe that's a little cocky. No, it's not. I am confident because that confidence and that building, the building of confidence came from my blessings. I tell people how I want to be treated because I'm not going to allow anyone to treat me any different than the God treats me.
Yes.
I got it. and then I have to share it. Because half of our job, or 80%, 90, 50% of our job is to share God's work and word. We have to share Him.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us don't do that. We get to points and apexes of our success and believe we really got there. We did it on our own. You didn't. I'm telling you, you didn't.
You raise a good point. You raise a really good point because, we look at, like you were saying before, you look at the accolades, you look at the clients, and we can certainly talk about that. But you raise a good point about the foundation, how, so many people, they go through life, they struggle, they fall, they struggle, they fall, they struggle, they fall, and in some instances they give up. Yes. Because they're operating in their own space.
Yes, and then they want to become accusatory. They want to blame their managers, their mothers, their fathers for them not being successful. You got to blame yourself because you didn't listen to the man above. We want to always blame somebody for why we are in the place we're at. Yeah. No, you got to take your own trials and tribulations and say, I messed up. Mm-hmm. And God, please forgive me, because I do that.
Yeah.
You know that your mother and father taught you the difference in right and wrong. You know the difference in right and wrong. You know what you're saying is wrong. So why would you say it?
Mm. So you're 50 years. Yes. You're 50 years of success are the result of listening to that still small voice.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, very much. And then, I think it is the responsibility of parents to begin to educate and love their children while they're in the womb. Then their job is to raise them when they come from the womb with love and understanding, and not allow your children or your child to assume that you love them. You need to tell them, I love you.
Come on, Angelo.
And I thank you. And I love you. And my mother used to say, you're great because you're my child. But I want you to be greater. And then she said, I want you to be the greatest that you can possibly be. And when my mother passed and I stood over her, I said to her, Mama, like she was sitting up in my face, Mama, you ain't seen nothing yet. I'm going to do all of what you want me to do, and I'm going to be the greatest person I'm just going to be the best that I can possibly be. For you, Mama.
Yeah.
And I meant that. And I meant it.
And, I always speak to the power. I always believe that there are power in words. And, again, what you said was so true about parents speaking into the children. It starts in the womb, telling them that the parents telling them, their children, that they love them. I don't think some parents really understand the impact that has, that seed that is planted by saying it often and the seed that is planted by not saying it.
There you go. Because, do you raise your child from the infancy stages? Because, when they get about 5 or 6 or 7 years old, it's all molded in their mind as to how they're going to act, how they're going to conduct themselves, and how they're going to think. So you can't just have a child and believe that the child should raise themselves. You're the parent. You must teach, educate, stimulate them, and motivate them to an awareness that is non-existent in them. They need to know about what it is that they're about to enter into. And if the parent is not preparing the child, then they're lost. And that's why we're in the kind of crisis that we're in today with our youth. Disrespect. I even see on TV commercials the disrespect that children have for their parents. And then they electrify it by showing it on television. So these kids have absolutely no barriers of understanding what respect means to them. You got to raise your children from the womb. You got to teach them to read and to write. And this is only the reading and writing is only going to get them to the next level. They can take anything from you, but they can't take the education and your knowledge away from you.